You're welcome back to Tech and Culture, a program where we look at the key elements of what makes us Muslims and how technology is affecting it in today's times. We have been discussing from yesterday some of the key components of our culture as Muslims, including how we dress, how we celebrate our festivals, and how we transmit knowledge from generation to generation, from us to our children and everything. So today, inshallah, we'll be continuing with other elements of what makes us Muslims. Even how we build our houses and the architecture, the typical architecture. Normally, I used to think that the dome on top of a mosque was the sign of Islam or the sign of mosque, whereas the dome is not like a necessity that a mosque must have domes. I've seen numerous mosques that have domes and numerous that do not have domes across the world. But one interesting thing I found about the construction methods in a place like Saudi Arabia, for example, there is minimal use of wood. In Nigeria, when you want to do even a fence, or when you are making construction, you want to use scaffolds and formwork, we use a lot of wood. And I was so surprised when I saw roofs were not constructed with wood in Saudi Arabia and Middle East. It was over time that I realized that, these people do not have the forest to have so much wood. So they use what is locally available as much as possible. So when you see our roofs so high, very high pitch roofs with a lot of wood, that would be very expensive to construct in a place where it's just desert and they don't have so much wood. So we do not necessarily need to copy architectures from places that might not necessarily, be advantageous to us in our local environment. But there are various techniques and technologies in construction that we hope to be looking at in specific episodes for each of these sessions as we go on with this series. So if we talk about how technology is affecting our masajids and how we build our masajids and run our masajids, we will see how a lot of masajids now use solar-powered energy supply. We have a lot of high-quality sound system in mosques. For example, if you go to the An-Nur Mosque in Wuse 2, one of the beauty of praying in An-Nur Mosque has always been the quality of that sound system. You just pray in those mosques and you just be enjoying the sound, the recitations come at you and everything. And I'm like, is it this really like the Malam that is reading this, or is sound effects and everything? And we must be watchful of what they do to us as a people. There are some key things that as Muslims, that makes us Muslims. One is honesty. A Muslim, it is paramount that he doesn't cheat and doesn't present himself to be cheated. And that's discipline is very, very important that we find a way to retain. Either it is a physical transaction that we are doing or an online transaction. Whatever technology brings, honesty and being reliable has always been a key component of what it means to be a Muslim. There are times when people have asked that how did Islam spread into places like Africa? How did Islam spread into places in Southeast Asia and Indonesia, which currently has the largest population of Muslims in one country? And those places have all been reached through trade routes. When people trade with Muslims and they see that this particular set of people have always been honest, they do not overprice their products, they do not cheat you. If you make mistakes in paying them, they will return the balance of it. If you sell to them on credit, they will honor what has been sold to them. And transaction was just usually very pleasant with the Muslims. And these were among the things that allowed Islam to spread to so many places that even the Quran and the core message of Islam did not reach, but the value and the culture got there before even the preaching of the religious activities, such that people accepted Islam in mass. You have a place like in Indonesia where their leader accepts and just explains it to his people that this culture, this value system makes sense. And the whole community accepts it as a new way of life. So honesty and being transparent in our business transaction has always been a key part of what it means to be a business person and being a Muslim. Now, in today's times, technology is evolving. There are so many activities that are possible in the business space that we do not know that has not been fully explained how to interact with them for Muslims and as Muslims. One of them is things like cryptocurrencies, digital currencies, some trading activities like when they trade in crypto, when they trade even in stocks. There are components of it that are not fully explained that a Muslim is wondering, should I get into it or should I not? And these are among the things that we'll be exploring in subsequent episode. Like there's an episode that we're looking at where we have some of these loan apps where because you need to purchase some things, you take a loan and then you have to pay them back over time. But if you don't pay on time, the amounts compounds. And this is a key concept that Islam has forbade. And there are now platforms where you can actually go and there is no interest on your money over time. And we'll be running a session on that, and inshallah in the subsequent episode we'll be looking at that. So these key components of what it means to be a Muslim, what's the culture of Islam in a space like Nigeria, and how is technology and cultural evolution affecting it, are among the things that we'll be discussing over the next set of episodes. There will be various presenters and there will be various interviews and productions along those lines. I hope you stay with us and would inshallah be able to rub minds and benefit from one another. I remain Jibril Ibrahim. I'll see you in the next episode.